Okay, this is my version of how to change a clutch belt in a RZR. This is a 2009 RZR S. It has a turbo kit on it, and I made some other modifications, but changing the clutch belt should be the same as a stock machine. The first step to do is to remove the seats, which I've already done. Second, you remove the heat shield. I have the for my harnesses installed. If you have the stock seat belts, they would be attached here in the center. The next step is to remove the seat bar that the seats latch onto and that the seat belts are attached to. On each end is a bolt and a self-locking nut next to the post that the seat goes onto, and you'll need a 5/8 ratchet and a 5/8 open end to get those out. I've already removed them for the speed of the video. Like I said, there's two of them, one on each end. And the seatbelt bar is also attached to the plastic console with two Torx bit type screws. You'll need a T25 bit to remove those. There's two of them. Again, I already removed them for speed. And once those are out, then you can remove the seat bar. You can leave the harnesses or seat belts attached. Just flip it up into the bed of the RZR out of the way. And that will expose the cover so we can get it off, the clutch cover. This is part of the turbo intake to the filter, so the stock machine won't have that. This is the clutch exhaust. Hot air comes out of the clutch and exits on top of the engine. There'll be a clamp here that I've already removed. And you can leave this on here. I don't use it, so I'm going to remove it and get it out of the way. And then on the clutch cover, there are several 3/8 screws. You're going to get a 3/8 nut driver to remove them. I removed all but two of them. There's a couple on the bottom that are kind of hard to reach. If you're not doing water crossings or worried about sealing the clutch, you can leave a couple of them out and just use a couple to keep it fastened. I usually don't put the bottom ones back in. And then you can remove the cover. And then we'll expose the clutch. Underneath the cover in this groove, there should be a foam gasket. It's black with a yellow stripe. And if you're going to do any testing with the clutch, running the engine and stuff with the clutch cover off, you'll need to remove that gasket, otherwise it could fall out into the clutch and it'll get eaten up and spit out. I've done that once to mine, and I've seen others do it. I don't even put the gasket back in. Like I said, I'm not doing water crossings, so I'm not worried about sealing the clutch cover. Well, now we have it off. This is the primary or drive clutch. This is the secondary or driven clutch. The primary is attached to the output of the engine, and the secondary is attached to the transmission. With the RZR in park or neutral, we can spin the secondary and the RZR doesn't move. You can turn the primary. You will be turning the crank and moving the pistons in the engine, but it shouldn't hurt anything. Now to remove the belt, there is one easy way to do it, or easier, and that's to take a ratchet socket extension with a 1/2 inch end on it, stick it into the secondary, pry the secondary open, get some slack in the belt, and then the belt can be rotated over the top of the secondary, and you can pull it out. Then you can slide it off the primary. Fairly simple. Put it on kind of the same way. When you put a belt on, make sure that the writing is always legible from the front. That way it's always going on and off the same way. If you're testing a clutch and making changes, putting it on and off, it's a good thing to do. Put it over the primary, line it up over the secondary. If you want to, you can spread the secondary open a little bit again and kind of push it down in. That'll make it easier to rotate around. That's back on. Check to make sure it's lined up good and working good. And now if you want, you can turn the engine on and test it. Make sure that there's nothing that's going to fall down into the clutch and cause damage. And as you give it gas, you'll see the primary and secondary engage and spin. Okay, all looks good, so now you can put it all back together in reverse, and I highly recommend that you try this at least once in your garage so you can put together a toolkit and know what you need when you're on the trail.